Oh, hi guys, welcome to Naturally Candid. All right, so thank you guys so much for joining. It's good to see you here. I am Shannon. For those who don't know me, my name is Shannon, and I am your girl, your regular girl on here, Naturally Candid, where I post content about personal finance, lifestyle, vlogs, and when I'm doing my lives, we talk about issues that are bothering the society. So we speak about societal issues and we also speak about finance as well. So I want to take this opportunity to welcome you all to my live today. Yes, I want to tell you thanks. And while you are joining the live, don't forget to hit like on the live, subscribe, and the notification bell so you guys can know when I upload. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm going to go live on my other devices so I can basically track what you guys are saying to me, because I don't want to miss anything or any suggestion that anybody is making with me. So I'm just going to go ahead and join the live on my other device. Thank you guys, those who have tuned in. Thank you so much for tuning in thus far. And remember, don't forget to hit the like on the live. Alright, so let me just quickly send this out. Alright. Okay, so we're good now. Alright, so tonight we will be talking about, let me just carry this down. Tonight we will be talking about home ownership. So we're going to talk about home ownership. How can I as a millennial really own a home? What are your take on this? What are your views on this? How do you feel? How do you feel about home ownership, being a millennial? And I know that there are some persons too who are not millennials and have been going through the phases as it relates to home ownership, and it has been a challenge for y'all. So we are here tonight to talk about that. Let's talk about it. Why I said, when I thought about the idea, I was like, you know what, I applied for the NHD housing developments, the last two housing developments, which would have been Masmere Flats and Roseneath development. Those are the two I applied for. And as a millennial, it had been a challenge because I was looking at it and I'm like, my name is not on the list. And when I look at it and I'm saying, you know what, this might be what others are saying. This is my first time applying for an NHD scheme. And the disappointment that I felt when I applied for the scheme and I didn't see my name, you know, when you're just all up and down, you feel like you're it, and you know you can get anything that you want. If you're going to apply for your house, you're going to get the house same time. And it suddenly hit me when I actually went through the process and I did apply for the house, well, the two houses, and I checked the NHD list and my name wasn't on the list. So you know who feel disappointed? Yeah, I have to put on my big girl pants now and just suck it up, because I wasn't the only one who was going through that. Another subscriber shared on one of my videos, I think it was the one when I was talking about how there are some new housing developments that are coming out. So I remember a subscriber sent me a comment under that video, and she was expressing to me that it has been 20 something years that she has been trying to apply for a house with the NHT, and over the 20 something years that she has contributed to government, she still can't get an NHT house right now. And she has been an NHT contributor over that space of time, that period of time. So me now, as a young person just coming into the market, I am now getting to understand what it is that persons are talking about. And even in society right now, especially now, there are a lot of persons who are making this cry. I hope somebody from the NHD or the government or somebody say how many persons are sharing on social media about their disgruntlement about the fact that they cannot get an NHD house to purchase. And mark you, once you're working and you're paying taxes, you are contributing to the NHD. And it's just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that even as millennials who have a goal, who have a dream, it is so challenging for us to get a house, you know. And when you look at situations and circumstances like those, you say to yourself, then what is really my purpose here, you know? And I think that is one of the reasons why Jamaicans now, especially millennials, are looking for outside opportunities than to even stay here in their country. And let me tell you, I have been disappointed by the whole application process. It's not even funny, but in the back of my mind, I knew that maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't put my name on it, because I've been only working in the government for 4 years, which would have meant that I would have been contributing to the NHD for 4 years. 4 years, there are persons who have been contributing, like I said, like my subscriber, for 20 odd years, and their points would have been more than mine. So what are the chances of me getting a house over them? Not. So that has been a challenge for me. I did feel disappointed, and so I can expect that. And I want to hear what y'all think. How do you feel about, you know, home ownership? How do you feel about home ownership in Jamaica as a millennial? Do you feel sick and tired of the system? Do you feel burdened? Do you feel unachieved? Do you feel disappointed? Let me know how you feel. Send me your comments in the chat. I know for sure that I do not feel well about it, but for those who are disappointed with the NHD housing and sending in your application for NHD, I want you to know that there is another opportunity for you to get a home, and that is through the open market. You can get a house to purchase on the open market. There are challenges, of course. There will be challenges in every avenue that you turn when it comes on to home ownership. Home ownership is very expensive, so you need to have something to sustain yourself in the case of anything. And so for the open market, I would advise you to get a lawyer when you are purchasing a home on the open market, because there are certain ins and outs of purchasing on the open market that a lawyer would be able to decipher and go through for you, that you with your naked eye, if you don't have no expertise in real estate or you have no expertise in law, this would have helped you if you got a lawyer to do all of that for you, to do the fine-tuning, the bookkeeping, the information seeking, and all of that for you. That's the thing about open market. If you're purchasing on the open market, make sure that you have a lawyer. So for those of us who are millennials, and maybe those persons who have been long-time contributors and still are having a challenge in purchasing a home, then for us, we can definitely consider home ownership from the open market. And if you see me looking down and looking up, looking down and looking up, is because I am checking the chat to see if persons have commented, and I'm using the other device to really answer those questions. So let me know what y'all think. Do you believe that there is an opportunity for you here in Jamaica to purchase a home, or do you believe that it not have nothing to do? Let me know. Let me know. Talk. I'm not seeing anybody talking. What's happening tonight? All right, and don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and the notification bell if you haven't already. All right, so I am definitely going to be coming with more content as it relates to home ownership, because there are 2 houses that are coming out. Let me know if you want me to do houses too that are available on the open market for you, because I could go ahead and look into some of those too. I'm going to be looking into some of those personally, but if you would like me to do videos on these so you can see the journey and the process, then let me know. I'll get that done for you. Also, I have a quick gem that I want to throw out there for y'all, and that is for those persons who have been asking me, if you are an international person and you wanted to purchase a house here in Jamaica, yes, it is possible. If you want to purchase a house through the NHD here in Jamaica and you are overseas, once you are an NHD contributor, you will be able, well, once you are an NHD contributor for at least a year, then you should be able to benefit from some of the things that they have offering. If you are someone who is overseas and would like to make purchase here in Jamaica, it is also available for you to do. So if you want to invest in a property in Jamaica, then nothing should stop you. You can. As it relates to us, for me, I am seeking an investment property, and so the best thing to do would have been to get a property that would have been beneficial in terms of once I get a property, it would be able to pay for the mortgage and it would be able to bring in another stream of income or revenue. But like for me and a lot of other millennials, and not even just millennials only, but I know that there are other persons who just simply want a house to live in, and it's a challenge. What do we do? What is the hope for us? And then I can say this to you, that maybe we are aiming too high. I know that a lot of persons are gonna look at me and say, what? I should be able to aim high. But it could be a possibility that we're aiming too high and we are not able to reach that in our current situation. So what we can do is to look for other opportunities on the market which is much cheaper or much more available to us. Another question I kept getting on my Instagram in my DMs was will I be able to, I'm trying to remember the words of the question so I don't go ahead and tell you foolishness, but the question was, will I be able to own a home on my own? Because everybody knows that NHD favors those persons who are married or persons who are joining together. Now, the question that the person asked me, I chose to answer it here on this live, being that we are in the habit of speaking about home ownership tonight. But yes, so the question was, will I be able to purchase a home on my own with the NHD? Yes, there is a possibility, and there are two options that you can use. You can use the parent assist that NHD now has available for you, but you can only benefit from the parent assist if your parents did not purchase a home with the NHD. If your parents purchased a home with the NHD, then you will not be able to benefit from that. If they did purchase a home and they're homeowners but not from the NHD, then there's a possibility that you can use their points that they have with the NHD to transfer over to you. Another thing is you will not be able to, but before I get to that one, let me just talk about the two in terms of how you can own a home on your own. Another thing is you can get someone to join with you, but yes, if you want to own it on your own and you don't want to get anybody to join with you, what you can do is to get another loan from another banking institution. Once you get that loan from that banking institution, you can couple that with your NHD loan and you should be able to get a property. I see a question here. But before I answer this question, Caron, give me 1 second and I'll answer that question, right? All right, so another thing I wanted to say is when it comes on to purchasing home with NHD, the parent assist, if it is that they added you or your name was added to a title of any property at all, whether you did born and come inherit it, I never know, say, you know, NHD would still consider you to be a homeowner, and NHD only gives home ownership loans to first time homeowners. So if your name is on a title, then you are going to have a problem getting a loan from the NHD because they give loans to first time homeowners. All right, so let me get to the question. So Caron says, young persons now must find friends that they can come together with and trust and go with the NHD cluster program. It's a great tool that I think we need to look into. All right, I understand what you're saying, Caron, and that's a very good suggestion. I do like that suggestion. But you know, the type of society we're living in, I know that a lot of persons are not very trusting, but Caron did make a good suggestion and I really like that suggestion. So if you are looking, and this can very well work for investment, you can partner with someone, get a home together using the, like Caron said, the NHD cluster program. That's a very good suggestion. But for those who are not able to trust on people as it concerns these things, then you know what you need to do. You need to do on your own. Guys, don't forget to hit the like on this live. It's very good for the algorithm. And to stay connected, hit the subscription button and the notification bell so you can know whenever I upload a content on here. Like I said earlier, I post vlogs, videos on finance, personal lifestyle, and when I'm talking about my lives, we talk about social issues on here. We talk about all the social issues that we are facing on here. So throw out your suggestions as well. You can throw out your suggestions on the chat and I will take those into consideration too. So Aya J. Patterson says, especially with this topic, What you mean by especially with this topic, Ayadre? Please expound on that so I can get a little bit of understanding as to what that is saying. Right. So, like I was saying, as it concerns NHD mortgage loans, if you have already got an house under the NHD, whether you inherited that house or you did get a house from them before, you will not be able to get another NHD benefit unless you are a first time owner. All right. So that's another thing. Another way you can get to your house too is to surrender your contributions, because you know that you can apply for your contribution return after a certain time. So you can surrender those and let that help you in the home ownership process. IOJ Patterson says, the live I'm talking, it's a great topic. Oh, thank you so much, Ayadre. I appreciate that. I hope it is helpful for y'all too. I don't want it to just be a great topic, but I want it to be a topic for you. So I know that there are, like Caron says, you gave a solution to the problem that a lot of persons are having, and boy, that's I didn't even think about that, but that was an interesting. I'll definitely look into it. That's an interesting point that you made there. I look right well into it. Yes. So guys, if it is that you need a home and you want to get the home on your own, it's always good and well when you find somebody trusted who you can sign with, because that would make the process a lot easier. But for those who are trying to get a property on their own, like I said, you can consider using the open market, and you can also consider to use a parent assist. But if you are in a position like myself who cannot get a parent assist, then you definitely know you have to get the additional amount of money that you need to purchase a home from another lending institution. Namely, I'm gonna name some of them. You have JMB, you have Victoria Mutual, and I do know about, I think NCB lends home ownership loans too, and the credit unions, right? So if you think that you need a house like right now and you don't have anybody to sign to, you probably have to go consider that. NHD loans 6.5 million as the maximum. If for some reason you borrowed 5.5 from the NHD, you will still have your $1 million that you can be able to access. So once you didn't take the entire $6.5 million, then you will still be able to access that amount of money. As it relates to me being a millennial and would love to own a home, unfortunately, those are the only opportunities that we have out here, and it would want to seem to me like the system is trying to hold us down, which is very unfortunate for us. Guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell for more content like this. I will love to see you here. Become a part of the NC gang, and don't forget to post your suggestions as well in the chat. Thank you so much for joining. All right, so Caron said, I don't know why this phone is typing what I'm saying. Caron says, NHD houses also, I believe, are overpriced, and the developers look at that and then price their homes based on that. And it's very unfortunate because a lot of the houses on the market now are very overpriced. And remember, as a single person purchasing a house, it can be very, very challenging and expensive for us. We can't just go out there and pick up money off tree like that whenever man rich. But yes, NHD houses are very, very overpriced, and yes, I do believe that the other developers like the HAJ and Gore Homes and all those other developers use the NHD prices to help create their markup on their houses. But what can we do? The system do this to it. We have to just work with the flow. What are we gonna do? And these are some of the cries that we have as millennials, because when everything is working against us, how do we, properly or adequately prepare ourselves for stuff like this? We really can't do much about that, and it's very unfortunate for young professionals who want to get a home. I know that the HAJ has a new development coming out, which is the Catherine's Estate. I passed by there not so long ago and I realized that the buildings are being constructed. It's under construction now, it's not yet done, but once it is done, I'll definitely go ahead and get a view of that for you, and then I'll come and share with y'all, because I like to share those contents. But yes, for young professionals, it's very unfortunate for some of us we have to look on the cheaper end of things, and we all know that new houses are being cheap right now, so it's very challenging. My take on the whole thing is that I feel let down. I feel let down by, we don't really have support as millennials, and so we have to be creating a new atmosphere for ourselves. We have to be creating that life that we want. It is a challenge. It's much more expensive now to own a home, and it's just what we have to deal with. We don't get no spoon feeding. Nobody not giving a handout. So we have to just start from scratch. For those who get spoon feeding, good kudos to y'all. Wanna get it the good way. But from persons like me, and it has been challenging. And when I read that comment from that subscriber who has been doing all this all the time, she has been contributing right through, she has been putting her all in to get her NHD house, and she said it was for years that she was trying to get this. Then I look at myself and I say, who am I to feel some type of way about this whole thing? It's not in my taking to do, right? I do not see any more questions as it relates to this topic, so I'm just going to finish saying what I have to say, and then I'll close out if y'all don't have anything else to share. But like I said, NHE houses, they're not the only solutions. We have other opportunities that we can try and render for ourselves. So if it feels or it seems like it is unfair, or we are not able as millennials to get a home from the NHD, then we can certainly look on the open market. I did a video on how to purchase a home on the open market, so if you are interested in that type of a solution, then I can link that video down in the description and you guys can access it after this video. But that's where it's at for me now, like literally that's where I am looking right now, because I realize, and if you can't even purchase the home, you can also think about purchasing land, right? NHD will give you a benefit for land as well. So I think it is what, 3 million or 3.5, I'm not sure of the exact figure, but I think it's 3 million. You will need to get those in place. I see Caron sent me another message. Caron says, I feel so let down by NHD. I am tired of wasting my time applying and annoyed of NHD because they should put out that they want this certain amount of points before letting persons apply. That is true. And this point system it is fairly young, because it wasn't always that. We never always had to use a point system. But the point system favors the older persons because, of course, they would be in the system longer to benefit from these points. So for younger persons like myself, who's in my 20s, the point system not gonna really do anything for me. Though I'm throwing my contributions every single paycheck that I get. It is very unfortunate that I probably won't be in the top persons being selected to get one of these housing developments. But there is something about it though that will keep me applying when I see these houses coming up, and that is the fact that it depends on the amount of persons who apply for these developments. So if you have 10 million persons applying, then you know your chance of really getting one of these houses is close to zero, right? But if it is that, say for example, an housing development, I saw for Colbert Manor that very few persons in the 300 points bracket got selected too. So I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I'm close to that. I probably can continue because I'm close to that figure that I saw on there, and I'm seeing persons in the 300 and something getting the approval for the house. So I was like, oh, then let me continue, because probably, I don't know, maybe after NHD sees me contributing all this cash all the time, them get tired for see my face or tired for see my application. So them say, ew, just give her one of these houses. So I'm thinking that will keep me motivated. At least I can say, all right, they got it at 300 and something points, so there's a possibility that I can get it at that too. So I'll keep applying. It depends on the amount of persons applying for that same development that you are applying for, that will determine if you'll get the opportunity to get a house for yourself. All right, thank you so much for that feedback, Caron. Karen also says, nice video by the way on Colbert Manor, my future home. You are most welcome, darling, and I do hope that you get it. Did you apply and you got through? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Karen said land is 2.5 mil. No man, they raised it. They raised it from 2.5 mil. So that's why I said 3 or 3.5. I don't remember exactly the figure. Karen says, that will only work in NHD houses in Clarendon, maybe, and Manchester, not in St. Catherine with so much application. Exactly. And unfortunately, St. Catherine is where I am looking because, hello, it's one of those places like St. Catherine and Kingston. But listen, honey, me cannot afford Kingston. Oh, some have to stick to my little St. Catherine with my ting lele. You understand? I don't have the big box for Kingston. You understand? Well, at least not yet. I'm claiming it in Jesus' name. Guys who are just joining the live, thank you so much for joining Naturally Candid. We're over here talking about home ownership. So let me know your take on home ownership in Jamaica. Don't forget to hit the like. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. There's some good gems throwing over here. Alright, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Karen says, remember Colbeck Manor is a private development, Chemtech. Yes, I remember, but I don't know if you're using the NHT to really get through to them. You understand? And also, Colbeck Manor goes on application as well. So if you put your application in, come out yet. So when it does, I guess I'll check in back with you again. Colbeck is I think I prefer the Vista more than any of the other properties, but that's just my take. I know it's your future home. Let me know which one would have been your selection. All right, for those who are just joining, like I said not too long ago, that we're on the topic of home ownership. If you're a millennial and you're just frustrated and tired of the system and you really just don't understand why these people are not giving you a house, let me know. State it in the chat and let us talk about it. Like for me and apparently Karen, we're just sick and tired of the system really holding us down as millennials. I have a voice and I'm just using my voice to talk about how I feel about the situation. I am tired of the NHT just simply, selecting those persons who are or have been contributing for that long period of time. I'm just tired of it. I want it to be an opportunity where I get to, I can apply for a house and I can feel confident that I would be selected. Now is a if and but or maybe situation because I'm young and them not believe say young people have no use for homes. So that becomes a challenge for me and my fellow millennials. And there are other persons too who might be going through the same phases. Alright, so I see that Carol said, Vista was my first choice, but after they raised the prices, I went with the Citadel. But phase 1 and 2 was sold out within a month. Let me tell you, of course they would have been. And we have to bear in mind that there are also international persons who are looking to invest in the Jamaican market, because in comparison to what houses cost over there to what houses cost here, it would have been a very good investment to invest in Jamaica. And Jamaica is becoming such a developed country that, hello, why would you not invest in a property here in Jamaica? So we have to realize that as millennials, we are contending with that too. We are contending with people who will literally have them cash, them walk with them cash, and we just have to just out there trying to get our acts together to really fit in with all these persons who already have the bigger opportunity over us. You understand? So that's a challenge. Alicia Smith says, you can look into the Bell Acre open market. I tried twice for NHD and was not selected, but I'm not giving up. Remember, your first home doesn't have to be your last. And Alicia, I definitely share that same sentiment with you. And that is why I was even talking about the open market, because that's another opportunity that we can look into. We don't have to get the first home being our dream home. We can take that home and create a stream of income or revenue so we can be able to purchase our dream home, because we all know the challenge that we're facing already. So the best thing now is to kind of curb and fit in with what we are given and try to see if we can get something else outside of the NHT and use the contribution to get that thing. You know what I say? Guys, if you're just joining the live, thank you so much for joining this fruitful conversation. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on this live, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel as yet, please to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can know when next I post. All right, thank you so much. So thank you, Alicia, for that. I really applaud that comment because I share in the same sentiment. Humble and Calm TV, thank you for joining us. Humble and Calm TV says, looking to build instead because scheme units are way beyond my monthly salary to get a mortgage. And I share Humble and Calm TV, can I tell you, and let me just put out there for those who are looking into purchasing scheme homes. You see, if the scheme that you're looking to purchase in is a gated community, you best believe it comes with more expenses than the mortgage that you'll have to pay. So bear that in mind, and you'll have to pay that every single month. So it's not like it's just one fee in your mortgage and then you don't pay that anymore. You're going to continue paying that fee every single month. So that is not something that you should look forward to, especially if you know that you are a regular person holding a monthly salary of probably $150,000. Listen, you can't stretch too far out of your reach to get a scheme house. So if you can afford a house on the open market, then I suggest that you keep that as your best pick. Guys, we're just joining the live. Please to hit the like on the live and let me know what y'all think about owning a home here in Jamaica. All right, Keron says, true, Alicia. Use the first home to build equity and then use that equity in the house to get your dream home. So best start off young. Listen, me telling the son just come over here with the sauce tonight because you guys are sharing the same sentiments that I am sharing, and that is what I want millennials to understand. You are young. You have the time to create that home that you want, that desired home that you want. As somebody rightfully said that they're building, there is a negative twist to building. You see, when you're young and you're trying to build a house from scratch here in Jamaica using land, it can be a challenge because for some reason when persons are young, people take off for idiots. Like people think them can go around way and will not have no sense for some reason. So it sometimes costs us more if we are supposed to build on land. And to kind of get rid of all of that stress, I think for me, I prefer to just buy the house already made and then probably build my dream home from scratch, because the build house is either you get a man who want to rip your house, like get some builders that want to rip you off, or you get bad quality materials and the whole work. So it can sometimes become as expensive as if you buy the house already readily made. It will still be cheaper, but probably not a lot cheaper. But then again, it all comes down to if you have a proper person working on your home or constructing your home for you, and if you have that support system that will be able to monitor that, especially if you have a 9-to-5 job. All right. Humble and Calm TV says, rough man, it very rough over here, especially as millennials. It's very rough, and so we have to be adjusting to all these challenges that we are being faced with. Guys who are just joining, I so much appreciate you. Don't forget to hit like on the live, and if you haven't joined the NC gang yet, just hit the subscription button and the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. All right. So Alicia Lindsay says, so happy to be a part of this. More young people need to have these discussions. I am so lost in where to look beyond NHT. It's so rough. Love the equity idea. Alicia Lindsay, that is why I try to build this type of space on my lives, because I want my lives to have substance. I don't want my life to just be out there just posting for views. I wanted it to be of substance. So I always try to come up with topics that will help us, especially as millennials, to really survive in this lifestyle, because to be honest, we were not taught. We never learned this in school. Our families didn't really teach us this because they themselves had to learn when they were at a particular stage in life. So I wanted to create this environment and this atmosphere for other young millennials to come and share in the space what worked for them, for those who had an issue, what worked for us. So in this community, we're able to answer all the questions we've always had. We just never know where to ask it. All right, so as you talk about the home and the equity idea, very much so, I love that idea, and that was always the idea I was sticking to. Get a house, and let me just add this in there too. I think this is the right moment to add it. Where it concerns the equity, getting a home purchase, you can lose from a home too. I just want to put that out there. Not all homes will be investments, because say for example you purchase a home on the open market, and your mortgage for that home is say roughly $30,000 per month. That's your mortgage, and for that home you cannot rent it for more than $25,000. You don't want to make that type of investment. So you, when looking for a home and you're looking for a home for equity purposes, get you a home that is valued at a particular price. Say you're going to pay a mortgage of $30,000. Look for a home that you can literally rent for probably $45,000. So you know you would be getting a profit of $10,000 to $15,000. Then what you can do with that $10,000 to $15,000, you can put some down for in case something in the house go bad and you need to get that sorted out. You put that down and then you put the other amount for investment. So if you want to put down 10 to put towards, if there's something in the house that you need to fix, then you put the 10 towards that and the other 5 in investment. You can't lose off right that way. But do not buy a house that's gonna be valued less than what you're paying for your mortgage, because that will still leave you in arrears. And remember, we're young people, we're talking about the cheddar, because we don't want to rely on retirement money to keep us afloat at certain age. Guys who are just joining the live, thank you so much. I humbly appreciate this. Please hit the like on the live, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. Then subscribe if you want more content like this. All right, so Amisha Jackson says, I don't want to miss anybody, so I'm trying to go back through the chats to make sure I don't miss anybody. Amisha Jackson says the monthly maintenance fee for the scheme houses are very expensive. They are expensive, and that was what I was talking about. When you're purchasing a home, be careful of where you purchase the home, especially in the schemes, because nobody is telling us that they come with other expenses. If the scheme have a pool, you have to pay for maintain it. If the grass want to cut, you have to pay to do that. If you do gate, especially if it's a gated community, you have to pay for the security that is at the gate protecting the community. So bear those things in mind. If you want to pay more money other than the amount that you're paying for your mortgage, then that's fine with you. You can definitely look into the scheme houses. But if you don't have it to pay more than what your mortgage says, and that's an additional expense that is coming to your money per month, then honey, if you're going to get a scheme house, rent it out. So the person who is going to rent your property, let them pay for that expense and pay you in return, so you can have your chum in your pocket. And if it means that you're going to rent a house that you can get more money off than if you live in it, go rent one cheaper property and rent out your house and get the profit off that. Just throwing that out there while I remember. Guys, if you're just joining, please hit the like on the live and don't forget to subscribe. Alright, so Sir Carter said, big up Shans, big up Sir Carter, nice seeing you over here. Amisha Jackson says, love the content. Amisha, I'm so happy that this is a place that you can come and love the content. You hear me I say? Because I'm doing this for y'all and for me too. We can share in the experience. Alisa Lindsay says, so true, definitely. Natisha says, good night, I'm just joining and I appreciate you using your platform to educate young people. And can you just repeat the home and equity? Natisha, thank you so much for joining, and thank you for that boost. That makes me feel like I'm actually doing something good. Yes, I can repeat that home and equity. There are a lot about home and equity that I have to share, as I'm one of those young millennials who are looking into purchasing a property for money. Alright, so as it relates to home and equity, if you are going to purchase a home, make sure you purchase a home that can give you a higher amount of money in return for the amount that you would pay for your mortgage. So say for example, you take an NHT loan, or you take an NHT loan along with another loan in order to get the total amount that you need for the mortgage, for the house, then I would say get you a house that can get you rent money higher than what you would pay for the mortgage. Because remember, in houses, they can act as liability when there are things in the house that needs to be fixed. Sometimes the pipe a leak and the people we call you and said the pipe is leaking, you need to get a plumber to come over here. Sometimes the house needs to paint, sometimes some patching work needs to be done. If you're going to get a house, make sure that you get a house that can bring the money in, so you can put down an additional amount. Alright? Additional, so look at that. So you can look at that additional amount, and then now say for yourself, you can put that down into both. If anything comes up with the property, you can put that towards it, as well as you can put down another portion for investment. So that was what I was saying as it relates to home and equity. When choosing a home, look at the location, look at how much it can be valued for rent. Say for example, you look at how much, say you're looking for a house in Portmore. Portmore houses are always in demand, guys, because it's so close to Kingston, so close to Spanish Town. It's just in between, right at the right places. So Portmore houses are always in demand, just like Kingston houses. And say you're looking for a house in Portmore, if you can get a house in Portmore that can house 2 families, split it in half. One family over here to rent that part, one family over here to rent that part, and your mortgage is say $30,000. You can basically put one part over here to say rent that for $21,000, and then the next part $21,000, $42,000, or even more profit than that. But what I'm saying as it relates to equity, just make sure that whatever else you'll be getting, you can get a monthly amount of money for more than the mortgage that you are paying. That is an investment, because no money would be coming from your personal pocket to sustain this house. Somebody is paying for your mortgage and then putting a little chums in your pocket too. What can go wrong with that? I think as millennials, that is what we need to look into. And if we can get a property to rent that is cheaper than the mortgage for the house that we have purchased, then it's better to rent a property to live in, and then rent for yourself personally to live in a particular property, and then rent out the property that you purchased to somebody else for them to pay for your mortgage. That, I think, is a very good solution. Guys, thank you so much for joining the live, and for those who are just joining and you like this content and you'd love to see more of this content, hit like on the live and join the family by hitting the subscription button and hitting the notification bell. All right, so let me go back to the questions. Alisa says, so true. Natisha said, good night. Okay, that's the one I did. Humble and Calm TV says, true. Location is key. Location is very much the key, because for some locations, your property will be able to get a lot of more traction than if you go to certain places. I mean, most of the action is done in the urban areas like Kingston, Portmore, all these places. So if you get a place in Mandeville, or Mandeville, you probably get like a tourist to come in. But say, let me get another place, Trelawney, where you know a lot of persons not really fool around the parish of Trelawney, then your property is at a risk, because nobody don't really want there so to stay. So when looking for property for equity, location is important. Look for somewhere that persons are always looking to stay or is in demand, so that your property can always have somebody that is going to occupy it to make you money every month. All right, also let me also share this too. When you're looking into properties for equity purposes or home ownership, you need to have additional funds just in case your tenant decide that they're going to move out, and you take like a month to get another tenant. At least I did have this little money put down here for situations like those, so you still wouldn't be at a disadvantage. All right, we have to know to play the system that is trying to play us. All right, so Karen says, also persons must go in and talk to NHD if going on the open market, because you can use your refund towards deposit. I did say that earlier in the live. I'm not sure if, I don't think a lot of you were on it when I said that, but you can use your refunds towards the NHD loan. I mentioned that earlier. Thank you so much, Karen, for bringing that back up again. Fees and shortfall, they also give you an additional 325k on 6.5 mil if Sally Ald. I didn't know about that 325k. Could you expound a little more on that, Karen? That's very interesting information. So if you could just expound on that some more for the rest of us to know, because I didn't know about that additional 325k. So it would be nice to know if you could share that with the rest of us. Natisha says, question, what if you get an NHD home but you can't afford to rent it out but live in instead? How do you build equity? Well, Natisha, for that question, how you could build equity depends on how big your home is that you got that NHD loan from. So say for example you have a 2-bedroom home. If you have a family that is occupying both 2-bedroom homes, what you need to consider is to build an additional unit around the back, so that the persons who you'd be renting that to, them go in through their location on its own and exit through their location on its own, so it won't interfere with you and your family in the other two sections. Also, if it is that you only occupy one area in that house, you can rent out the other area to an additional tenant to bring you the money that you need to pay the mortgage for that house. That's how you can build equity on that house. And I must go ahead and say to you too that depending on the location of your house, it does appreciate in value every single year. So naturally, just owning a home, you are building equity. If that answered your question, let me know in the chat so I can address it. All right. Caron says, that's why when purchasing, you have to look at location and also the developers keep their area. Look at a Draxall where houses were like 12 million 5 years ago and is now selling for $35 million. Exactly, Caron. And you see where Draxall is located now, in that area, it started to boom. So owning a home there like 5 years ago is starting to pay persons who did invest in a home at that space, because now Kingston is in high demand, and having a property in those areas like even Draxall, very expensive now, but it was an investment 5 years ago, still will be an investment now, because a lot of persons will still need areas in that area. For those who are just joining, thank you. Don't forget to hit the like on this live. All right, so Caron wasn't aware of additional $325,000 that NHG provides. Same here, Alicia, I wasn't aware, and if Caron could expound on that, that would be nice. Brianna Wilson, good night. Jaquan sent me. Thank you for coming, Brianna. Thank you, Jaquan, for sending Brianna. Alicia Smith says, boy, NC, you are very knowledgeable and analytical. Keep it up. Alicia, let me tell you, it never just come from anywhere. It was just like this. That's why I chose to do this type of forum, because it was just like this, where I kept on joining other person's forums and I started to learn a lot more stuff. So I invested time into looking into these things. And because I'm also searching for a property for equity, I am in the know of all these things that are happening now. So I didn't just get up and know this girl. It took some time, it took some research, and it took watching other persons who are doing the same thing for me to know all this information. And as it comes on to being analytical, when it comes on to home ownership, we can't just push it under the bus like that. We have to be very analytical. We have to look into all the pros and cons, because home ownership is very expensive. And because me not rich yet, I have to know the ins and outs of it. Alright, Natisha says, yes it did, thank you. Natisha, I'm humbled that you found my suggestion valuable. Make sure you act upon it, because we don't come over here for just start the things them and just sit on them. We come here to talk the things them and act on the things them. Alright, I want to see like a year or two from now, you come over here and you tell me, say, boy, Sean, me not send a live, but a live that we did watch from NC. Me I say, I love that. Look for me now, girl. That me want hear like a year or 2 years from now. Alright, Caron says, sorry if salary allowed. The $325K is used to help with fees associated with the mortgage in a joint finance mortgage. Okay, so you only get access to this $325,000 if you have a joint mortgage. Let me know, because I know there are persons over here who are looking into getting mortgage for themselves to own the property on their own. So let me know, give me a little bit of clarification on that, Caron. Natisha says, thank you sharing for your knowledge with us and teaching us too. Appreciate you. And Natisha also says, I will. Natisha, I say, I know how you make me feel so nice in the night. Thank you, Natisha. I'm so glad that I'm at least doing something for somebody, right? So all I can do, is to basically share what I know with you guys, and we come over here and we talk about it. Hopefully it reach the right ears and them say, I'm going to start giving them young people here some opportunity. You understand me? But the only way it can happen is if we start to make the change from here. So we don't know which ears it might reach. So let's just hope it reaches the right ears and we start to see change for young persons. And not only young persons, but persons who have been in the system for a while and are unable to get a home. Alright, so Alicia Smith says, okay, thank you, Caron. Appreciate it. Yes, so Caron, you're over here throwing the good gems. Thank you for joining the live. And Natisha says, true. Yes. So you see, we're over here throwing good gems. So you didn't waste your Sunday evening for no reason. You actually came over here and you learned something. Caron says, yes, I believe it's only joint finance mortgage that is mortgage with a bank. NHD mortgages alone normally don't have to high fees like banks. Normally don't have. I guess the two is not to be there. Yes, NHD doesn't normally have high fees like the banks, because the NHD, because everybody has to throw NHD contributions, what it does is to kind of limit the amount of fees, and what you pay back to the NHD is done in percentages. So if you get a certain amount of pay, you either pay 2% back in interest to 4% back in interest, or say 5% in interest. But it depends on what your salary is. That will determine where you will fall in terms of paying back for interest. Alicia Lindsay says, is there a WhatsApp or Zoom group yet? Laugh out loud. I need this energy. Sorry, Telegram. You know what, Alicia, being that you said this now, say come like me need to form a Telegram group for all my NC gang so we can chat and go along. I will talk about the topics that we want to talk about on live. And because you said that, Alicia, I am going to look into it, create the group, and I am going to, what I want for this group though, I would want, let me know your suggestions, is that we talk about all things positive for millennials. How can we get houses? We want to talk about things that are affecting us both financially, emotionally, and all the alleys. So say for example somebody have a question about this, if somebody in the group could answer it, they will come on here and talk about it. That's the type of vibe I would like. So let me know if you are into that type of thing, because if you are, then I'm not gonna hesitate. I'm gonna hurry up and farm it so we can be a part of this. You understand? We're in this together. Alright, but I love the idea, Alicia. I really love the idea, and we only need persons who are making a positive contribution to the group. We don't want anybody who is going to come there just to be a part of something that is gonna be so moving and contribute to so many, and you're coming there with a negative energy. We're not going to want that. So for this group, I am just saying that we would love for it to be millennials who are interested to take their lives to another level. Each one help one. Same like how we're on the live right now and we're talking and persons are benefiting from the content that is being shared. The group is just simply for learning new ways and schemes to survive in this life. So let me know if you're interested in that type of vibe. State it in the chat so we can get it together. Alright, so Alicia Lindsay says, oh yeah, I read that one. Alicia Smith says, the only cost is 3,500 closing cost NHD. Yes, they have that. Yes, 3,500 closing cost. Yes, but that's not the only cost. You will have deposit, closing cost, and some other little costs that I'll have to come on here and share with you in a video, because I can't remember it off and no. But the closing cost is just one of them, honey. Houses are very expensive. Alright, so Amisha Jackson says, no negativity, absolutely none. If you don't like me for any reason, or you don't like somebody on here in the NC fam, just continue scrolling. You don't have to be a negative person. Just continue scrolling if we are not your cup of tea. Guys who are just joining, thank you for coming. Please hit the like on the live, and if you're not subscribed yet, subscribe, hit the notification button, and join the NC fam. Alright, Caron says, also persons try and get life insurance policies that include investment, because the encashment funds, encashment funds can help with home ownership, and the policy can also help with the mortgage. Yes, thank you for mentioning that. I did mention it in one of my videos, but thank you for mentioning it here, Caron. Life insurance can definitely and most certainly help you in the process of home ownership, because if you have a life insurance policy that can give you benefits to add that policy to your home ownership, then honey, you can consider that. But there is a downside to that though. If you want for it to be a situation where should something happen to you and you want your family members to be able to access that money that, say for example you leave that money behind for your family member to be able to access it. If you die, what the NHD will do is to take the money from that policy that you have attached to your house to pay for the loan that you owe. And if it is more than the amount that you owe, they'll give the balance to whomever you put as the beneficiary for that money. But that's what attaching your life insurance would do. So my safest bet is, if you want to leave something behind for your family, it would be cheaper for you if you take out another insurance, another life insurance, and connect that life insurance to the home ownership, and you will have the big one for your family, and that little one will be used to cash out whatever owings you have with NHT if something should happen to you. But that is if you want to leave a legacy. If you're okay with just using the one that you have now, or if you don't have none yet and you're going to get one, if you're okay to use that, then that's fine. But it's cheaper to have your outside insurance, your outside life insurance, than to pay the NHT for an insurance on your loan. So you can consider that. Thank you, Caron, for bringing that back up for me to remember to mention it here. Natisha says, oh, did I finish reading that question? Okay, yes. Natisha says, this question just came to me. When you join with someone and you both are approved for a home, do you know if the home is 95% financed by the NHD, or you have to find high fees? Alright, so some of the NHD houses are 100% financing, but with the 100% financing, you know that it's going by the point system. But right here you said the person would have already been approved. So once you have been approved and you did purchase a home that says it was worth for 100% financing, then they'll just give you all the money for that. Alright, but if it's not, then you definitely have to find the balance somewhere else. I'm not sure if I answered your question. Let me know in the chat. Alicia Smith says, option-wise, NHD is better based on the interest rate, and also the fact that for their scheme unit, they provide 100% financing, providing that your salary can afford. Exactly. That is why a lot of persons are trying to get in through the NHD housing developments. But guess what? The reality of it is that if you are a millennial just starting to contribute to the NHD, then the possibilities of getting or owning a home that is an NHD housing scheme would have to be one of those schemes that are in an area that a lot of persons don't want to move to. But if you're looking in an area that a lot of persons are seeking to get a home, then honey, as a millennial, it's going to be a challenge, which is why I keep preaching open market, open market. And you know, not only the open market, but I saw on one of the billboards at NCB when I went there the other day, and I think I should go ahead and share this with y'all. There on one of the billboards, they repossessed some of the houses that were purchased through NCB, the loan agreement that they had. And we can look into repossessed houses too. If we can look on the open market, we can look in the repossession market as well and see if there are properties there that we can see if we can get into. I mean, for somebody losing their home, it's not always a good thing to happen, or it feels funny. But if it provides an opportunity for you to purchase the house cheaper, especially as a millennial, then I think that is something we can look into as well. I just decided to mention that there. Alicia Smith says the 3,500 is in reference to NHD scheme unit. Yes, if the scheme unit is 100% financing, then the 3,500 would have been probably one of your only fees, but you still have to pay like deposits and stuff like the closing costs and all those other stuff. But yes, for the 3,500, I think it stopped at Alicia. But yes, speaking about the houses now, I think we covered a whole lot. I think there's somebody who talked about the Telegram group. I think it was same Alicia. Guys, if you are interested in that, let me know so I can create that group as soon as possible and post that for y'all so you can be a part of the NC fam. Alright, for those who are just joining, please to hit like on the live. And if you haven't subscribed as yet, don't forget to hit the subscription button and the notification bell if you like content like this and would like to be a part of the NC fam. We only talk good sauce around here. We only talk about positivity. We talk about things that would motivate and inspire us as young individuals to continue pushing towards our dreams. So if you want to be a part of that good sauce and good energy, then subscribe and hit the notification bell. Come join in the family. Me want a family so tight that we can even plan trips together. When you win, me win too. That my want. Alright. Karen says, Natisha, if it's on the open market, NHD would give you up to 95%. Right. But she was saying that they would have been they would have gotten through already with joint ownership. So I don't know. Alright, if you join with someone but then you would have the closing cost deal with from the developer. Right, that's what I was saying. She would still have the closing cost. Natisha says, I would be interested. Alright, that's one person who is interested. So that's one, guys. Let me know if you would be interested. Shelly's Corner, welcome. Good night, honey. Thank you for joining the live. Alisa says interested in Telegram group. That's two. Garcia Lindsay, can you talk about Colbert Manor scheme, please? What about it would you like to know, Garcia? Because I did do a video on that. I did a video on the Colbert Manor scheme. So what exactly would you like me to talk about? Let me know. If it's not in my video, then I'll go ahead and talk about it here for you so that you can be a little bit more informed. Natisha say, oh, thanks, Caron. Right. So I guess the answer, I'm so glad that your question was answered, Natisha. Matella Caron, I need for come hire you for come be some kind of advice about NHD. I stop me, I go on with things. Alright, thank you so much for adding that value, Caron. You are greatly appreciated, and all of you who have been joining this live, you are greatly appreciated. I love this energy here tonight. All right, so two persons have stated their interest in the Telegram group, and so I am definitely going to consider that, and you can look out for it on my YouTube status of me telling you that, hey, I have created this Telegram group. Let me know if you're interested so I can add you, and then I'll add you. Caron, must say I knew that you were him, you know. And then when she said her, I was like, her? I think he's a him. But you clarified it, so that's good. All right. Yes, Caron, we need to hire you over here. Caron seemed like he's also looking for a home to purchase like myself. So Caron, have the good information over here. Thank you. Alright, so guys, if there's anything else you'd like me to talk about now, like us to talk about now before we close out this live, let me know, and let me know what you'd like me to post next on my live. I'm trying to make it a every Sunday thing at 9 o'clock. Let me know if that's convenient for you. So far so good. It's been convenient so far, which means that y'all are interested in talking about these things at 9 o'clock on Sundays. So let me know the convenience for you before we close out, so we can just finish up. That's all the I's and cross all our T's for the night. Caron says, in the process of ownership, so based on that, I have knowledge of things. Exactly, Caron, and it's the same thing for me. Why I know what I know is because I'm in the process of home ownership, you see? And sharing all this good energy with other persons can help them to get in the process of home ownership. Imagine all of us getting a home in Jamaica, then them can't hold Jamaicans again because we don't beat on the place. We cannot let international investors come out here and take away all the house them from where we not get none yet. So we need to help each other. Each one help one. Thank you so much, Caron. I appreciate that. Natisha says, I'm okay with the 9 p.m. Alright, and it seems so far, based on what I'm seeing on here, it seems like a lot of you are okay with 9 p.m. So I'm going to let it remain at 9 p.m. on Sundays. I'm going to put a broadcast message on that, and I'm also going to put a broadcast message on the Telegram group for us to just share our insights, share our knowledge and information with the other young millennials in our community. So I think we've said all that we could. I don't know if anybody else have anything to say. Before we wrap up, I want to add that if you are international, if you're a person on the international market, because I know that there are a lot of persons internationally who are watching my channel and who have reached out to me to ask me certain questions. For those who are on the international market, it's possible for you to own a home here in Jamaica with the NHD once you have been contributing for at least a year. All right. I see two statements. Caron says, and ladies, don't get those high credit card limits. It affects your disposable income. Precisely. Caron, you know, I was going to have a live on the credit card. Way bust my bubble so early. Far. Make sure set up on a live there too, you know. But yes, I was going to talk about the credit card because I found out something very interesting with credit cards. I personally did not believe in credit cards, none at like me. I'm not one credit card person, but if you have good spending habits and you have good money management, then you can consider getting a credit card if it has benefits to give you. But I'll talk more about that in another live. Caron just want to burst the bubble tonight, but I'll talk about it in another live. Alicia Smith says, Caron, as it relates to joint financing, do you know which bank has the best interest rate at this time? NHD. But a lot of people talk about JN, Jamaica National, as well. So I know that that's another opportunity that you can check out. But you basically just need to look on the market and see what is best for you. But Caron, you can add to that as well because she wants to hear from you as well. Also, as it relates credit cards and your disposable income, Caron, for some banks, they do require that you carry in your pay slips so they can see how much you get paid per month, because they will not issue credit cards to you if your paycheck is at a certain amount. They will put a limit on you. So they automatically do that in for some banks. I don't know about all, but I do know about NCB. So I can only speak to NCB. NCB will only give you credit cards based on your salary. So if your salary look like it too little bit, then I'm going to give you the one we have the little bit of limits. You understand? Alright. Natisha says, only card I have is my own money, debits only. I love managing my own money. The disadvantage to debit cards though, Natisha, and that is why I considered credit cards, is that with debit cards, when you go to point of sale places, use your debit card to pay for certain expenses. Say you're going to do grocery shopping, or you're going to just buy something at the corner store, and you swipe your debit card, they will charge you taxes on your debit card. However, with your credit card, they do not charge you anything. So if you can control your credit card, then yeah. But if you can't, no, look credit card direction. Alright. Alright, Christopher Masters says, you keep saying millennials. Only millennials who want to follow your advice. Christopher, you know, no. I don't want you to think that's the case. That is definitely not the case. I did say earlier in the live, and even for those persons who have been trying for years, who are, you know, what you'd call more mature folks, I did speak to them as well. But I don't think you were here for that part, so maybe that's why. But yeah, a lot of mature folks subscribe to your channel and find your info helpful. Thank you for that correction, Christopher. But it was not intentional by any means. In the beginning, I did, up into the live, I did make mention of that too. Caron and Christopher, if there's anything you want to know too, let me know. I'll go ahead and talk about that as well. Caron, Alisa, I think for young persons, it's best VMBS or JN because they're the only ones that give up to 40 years. Currently, I know VMBS have a promotion for 6.5%. Others are between 7 to 8.5%. Precisely, and I did say that too. And not only for young persons either, it's also good, like Christopher corrected me, it's also good for those persons who have been on the market for years too. So for those who are the mature folks who are also interested in home ownership, you can consider VMBS and JN to couple with your NHD benefit. And for persons who are already first-time homeowners who use the NHD, you can also use these banking institutions to get your second home. Caron says, but most of those are given 20 to 30 years repayment. Do your research and get a pre-approval so you know how to do your research. Precisely. Look into what they will be giving you because if you don't know what they'll be giving you, you won't know how to plan accordingly. So get a pre-approval from all the institutions that you're interested in using and see where you stand with them so you can make your best choice. Alisa says, thanks, Caron. Your information is greatly appreciated. Very much so. Natisha said, debt and taxes. Ah, boy. Can't escape those two for real. You really can't. But you can escape the credit card one if you pay it back on time. Christopher Master says, okay, cool. I reached late. That's fine, Christopher. We're still there. You can still add your gems to the conversation. Christopher Master says, first time ever commenting on a YouTube live ever, so you know I find your channel interesting. Christopher, I'm so excited to hear this information, and you know what, just because I said that, I'm going to continue keeping my channel relevant to not only persons my age but persons who are older and wiser, because y'all can share your gems with us as well. Thank you so much for this comment. I appreciate you. All right, so anybody else have anything to say before we finish this live for tonight? I really don't want to keep it up. I know say you need to get your beauty sleep for tomorrow work. So let me know if you have anything else that you'd like to contribute before I close off for tonight, so that we can call it a spade for today and then come back next time. If you want me to post more content like this, let me know. Let me know what you want to hear on here for the next live. Alright, so I see Caron says, and also negotiate on the mortgage fees from the banks, especially if you're a regular customer of the bank. Very much so. Thank you, Caron, for that. And I must add, boy, Caron, you always remind me about these things. So I know I want to talk about, but you just remind me. Also, guys, what you can do is to every single year, like say for example they did decide to grant you this loan, what you can do is that every year you go back after and you ask them if you can get a lower interest rate on the loan, because it's highly likely that they'll have promotions going on that you can be a part of. So every year you go to them, check them and say, look, I have been contributing for X and X time, I have a home for so and so, is there a possibility that I can get my interest rate lowered? I know NHT sometimes has that promotion, like the one that they had the other day. It dropped, the interest rates dropped. So if you can go back there and keep up to date every single year, then child, you can save yourself from a lot of money that you'd have to pay back. So bear that in mind too. If you get a loan from any of these entities, keep going back to see if they have updated their service and they have dropped the interest rate so that you can be of benefit to that drop as well. Just to add to what Caron said. Alicia Lindsay says, your IG link please. Okay, I will link my IG in the description below. So once the video upload, I'm gonna edit it and put all that information in the description. So make sure you come back. But in the meantime, it's Shan_Inspire, and I do have a business page that you can go ahead and support too, which is NC_CollectionsJA. So my personal page is Shan_Inspire, and I do have a business page as well, NC_CollectionsJA. Stephanie Samuel says, good night. I'm also late. Stephanie, oh, you're so late. But don't worry, Stephanie. You're not going to miss it because it will be posted on my page. So you'll be able to access it after it has been posted. Okay, darling. There has been a lot of gems that were thrown out tonight. You don't want to miss any of those gems. So make sure you rewatch this video. Alright, so Christopher Masters, Roseneed Park. I watched your video on that, but do you think it's in a good area? There are a lot of persons who have been concerned about the Roseneed Park development, the area to which it's located. But one thing I can tell you is that Old Harbour is becoming so developed. It's becoming the new Kingston in country. That's what I call it, the new Kingston in country. So a lot of persons are looking to invest in Old Harbour. Where it is located, I do not know much about the area, but I do think it looks good. Maybe you'd have to come down here and look at it for yourself, but I haven't heard about anything bad in terms of a lot of criminal activities in that area per se. But I do know that there are persons who are very concerned about that. But when I went, I liked the area. I liked what it looked like. It's just that the road was just a mess. I didn't like the road, so that was my only issue with that area. Stephanie Samuel says, any news on the Catherine's estate? Okay, Stephanie, as I was mentioning earlier, I did give a little bit of an update to where the Catherine's estate was. I did pass there in the week, not so long ago, and I did see that the developments are being constructed. Them lock we out, so we can't see the area until after it has been completed. But once it has been completed, trust me, I'll be sure to upload it and update you on that. All right. Oh, Christopher Master says, yes, I need to drive and investigate. We'll tell you why another time. Definitely, Christopher. I always encourage persons, don't take my word for it, or don't take what you see in the videos for it. Make sure you go there and see it for yourself. That's why when I'm doing videos on these housing developments, I always video the area too, so that you guys can look and see if it's an area that you would live in. All right, it's very close to the road, so that's a plus. Stephanie Samuel says, oh yes, I read that one already. Karen says, Old Harbor will be the new Portmore, like over 3 or 4 new developments going to build over there. Precisely, and that's why I said to you that it's the new Kingston in country, because it has been, the developments are going on really well down here, and there are lots of international investors who are turning some of these housing developments into properties for Airbnb. So you know, there are a lot of tourists. I keep seeing a lot of tourists in the area. So you must know that getting a house in Old Harbor is definitely a good look. You can look to invest in Old Harbor. Based on what I see going on now. We have Colbeck coming in. We have Roseneath coming in. What's the other one? I think I did another one in Colbeck, Roseneath coming in. Those are the 2 so far. But I'm sure there are many, many, many more coming. Alright. Oh, Stephanie Samuel said, oh, Alicia, I don't want to skip nobody, you know. Okay, Karen. Karen says, persons can look out for Shooters Hill that will be in Portmore, that will be built by HAJ. I heard it's announcing soon. Yes, Shooters Hill is coming up, and they said it's going to be for 7.5 million. So you can look for that too. I was going to do a video on there. I'm not reach up there yet, but once it is announced that we can do viewing, then I'll definitely go and get some snippets for y'all if you cannot make it there. So don't worry about Shooters Hill. I will be doing the video on that. But yes, it's a development that you can look into as well. Alicia says, the reality right now, most development is near to an unpleasant environment. Not necessarily, you know. Not necessarily, because you'd be shocked to realize that some of these developments really look interesting. Like, you would really want to get one of them right now. Take, for example, Colbeck. Colbeck is up on the hills, and it has a nice view overlooking the place. And I like it there. I like it, but the money expensive. Like $18 million, $15 million, $13 million. Too expensive. All right. Stephanie Samuel says, since NHT is partnering with HAJ and giving 100% financing, will home ownership go by point system? Once it is 100% financing, honey, it will be by the point system. I did ask that question. I did go by the NHT myself and ask that question. And the same way them answer me, the same way may I tell you. Once it is 100% financing, then you know it's going by the point system. But that is if it is solely an NHT development. If it's the HAJ who is really doing the development, then you know it's the NHT giving them the money to construct the houses. But it's them get the property and everything putting together. But honey, bear in mind that anything with the NHT that's 100% financing, point system. Alright, Christopher. Hold on, what's going on here? Christopher Masters says, yes, your videos are good content. I don't miss them. Always look forward to your notification. Christopher, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're one of my loyal supporters, and I definitely appreciate you. I have to come and give you some giveaways or something. I have to really pencil it out, because I have to show you that I really love you. Alright. Teron says, you have Colbeck Castle by NHT and also Wim Estate that will be New Harbor Village 2 in New Harbor Village. Wim Estate, I didn't know about that. That's a new one, but thanks for that, Caron. I know about New Harbor Village Phase 2 though, but I didn't know about Wim Estate. Caron says, laugh out loud, Colbeck Manor very expensive plus escalation costs and maintenance costs per month. I cannot afford it, Caron. I know your dream home, but me cannot afford it. It's very expensive. And I've heard, let me go ahead and share that in this space too. Not bashing anywhere, but I do hear a lot of negative feedback coming in the media as it relates to HAJ constructed homes. So I am a bit iffy on getting a home from the HAJ. Get me, I say, because anything what people say is either near so or it goes so. But you have to do your investigation and find that out for yourself and see if you still want to go with it. Stephanie Samuel says, okay, thank you. You're welcome, Steph. Precious Gem say, OMG, hi, you're looking good as always. Must say, Precious Gem, I really try tonight, I really try to look proper tonight. Thank you so much, Precious Gem, for that comment. Thank you for being here as well. For those who haven't liked the live as yet, wanna wait for a good content over here, no people, go ahead and hit the like. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and subscribe. Alright. Caron say, for a week. I don't understand that. Come again, Caron. Christopher say, yes, true. I heard that 2 houses leak and all them things. Right. Even though in the news is a whole heap of bangarang as it relates to the NHD house, the houses that were developed down there, the scheme that was developed down there. So when I see that, I'm like, hold on there. Hold on, I'm afraid, and then pretty much look like the houses that are being built at Catherine Estate, which is an HAJ property. Make me kind of iffy and afraid, iffy and afraid. Yeah, that's why I corrected myself, Christopher Masters. HAJ, not NHD. Let me gladest point that out. Let me say it again. HAJ, not the NHT. Natisha says, as me sign in, me like, thank you, Natisha. Someone will say I want true supporter, a true supporter. Nice NC ganger. Christopher said, laugh out loud. Yes, mama, let me repeat again, guys. I said HAJ, not the NHD. Alright? That's the bangarang that I'm hearing. You don't have to take our word or take the words that you're hearing out there for it. You can look into it, do your investigation, put your stuff together. As we rightfully mentioned, those bikers are not playing tonight. As we rightfully mentioned, get your pre-approval letters to see what you stand to receive from these entities, what you can get from them. I've already gotten mine from the NHD. I'm going to look into the other entities as well to see what I can get from those, to put together with the money so I can know what type of house I'm looking for and the price range that I can afford. Alright. Caron says, I believe HAJ don't ensure that their developments are good, and also the infrastructure is normally not finished. Numerous persons call radio shows about them. Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. I didn't know about this until the other day when I heard the big bangarang about one of the housing scheme that has been constructed, and the persons are having severe issues, and it knew. So I heard about it. I don't know how true it is. As I said, I am looking into it now. I'm doing my investigation because people are talking about it a lot. So I'm afraid. Natisha says, a house a road later night. And that may say with them bangarang outside here there again. Here there, house a road, and them like them don't know some of them alive. Christopher Master says, you have any info on Route Van Towers in Kingston? When them are going to fly the application gate for those? Alright. Christopher, being that you asked that question, I'm definitely going to look into it. I don't have any information on that right now, but I'm going to look into it, and once I get the information for it, I'll post it for you. Okay? So you can look out for that. Christopher, most are route then sold, which is expected as that is in Kingston. A lot of persons want those places, so you know how that go. Caron's Christopher says, really, Caron? Wow, my ear say it's July 2021 to apply. And Caron say under quiet plus the price start like 20 mil. But listen, Caron, we know say people always have them inside friend and them links and them something they go and get first preference over the regular population. So more than likely it goes off a true, right? So unfortunately that's just also a reality that we have to face. But I'm going to get some more information on Route Ven, and I'm going to definitely prepare a video for y'all and share that. Me can't afford the 20 million, so true, me can't afford it. Me not look them the direction there. Meet the Watson says, big up in a sis, very insightful information. Thank you so much, the Watsons. I'm glad that I was able to share this information with you. Thank you so much. Natisha said 20 mil. Natisha, that me I said to myself, to 20 mil, where must get it from? Where must I get it from? I cannot find $20 million. So me no bother look the 20 mil direction. But I'll get it for you though, Christopher. I'll get it for you. Christopher Master says, thanks. Any info will help. No problem. I'll most certainly get that for you and come and share it. Alright. Keron, I don't know if my financial advisor, Keron, what you call them? My realtor, Keron, wants to share anything else before we leave tonight. I am looking into, let me just inform you who are just joining the live, I am looking into creating a Telegram group where we can share in the space this type of positive energy, this type of positive surrounding, so we can share what we know with others. It's a community of well thinkers, both persons who are considered to be up in age, or persons who are middle age, or persons who are young. It's a community for everybody, so don't feel left out. It's a community for all. If you wish to join that community of positive, well-minded, critical thinking citizens who really want to just make a positive contribution or want to see their lives move from point A to B positively, then let me know, share in the chat so I can know to probably go ahead with the Telegram group. 2 persons have already gave me feedback. You can contribute to that feedback too if you are interested in that type of a vibe, and let me get that out the way for you. Alright, I'll be sharing the updates on that on my personal Instagram page as well as my YouTube post, so you'll be able to get information, a little bit more information on that. Christopher says, the woman at New Era lied to me. She said there was nomlist for Caribbean Estates 2 in Portmore when I called. Later my staff told me for them names on the list. Then she says so. Caron says, that's all for tonight, laugh out loud, but I would say just do your research and see how the best route of home ownership can be, but just don't give up. Exactly. That's where I'm closing at 2. We're going to end this live positively. If you are tired of applying to the NHD, because I know there are some persons who have been trying over the years. If you are tired of contributing to the NHD, don't worry yourselves. The opportunity will come for you. You'll get the opportunity again to do something and make a change. Keep applying. Apply till NHD tired of you and them say them will get it out. So if you're going to the other route, keep doing it. Continue. Consistency is key. Once you hold your fort and keep grounded in whatever you believe in, it will come through. Whatever you intend to come through will come true. So that we're close on tonight. We're close on the positive energy. We're going to all be homeowners when we want to be homeowners. I will now worry it over because we know God done gone before we forget it ordered and ready and prepared for us. So don't worry about that. For those who are just joining the live, you're not too late, because guess what? I am going to save the live. It's going to be posted on my page, so you'll be able to watch it for those who are late. So don't worry, you'll be able to watch it. It's going to be posted on my YouTube channel. Alright, for those who have been here from the start to the finish of this live, thank you so much, my darlings, my lovely NC fam. I'm gonna start that Telegram group and I'm going to share that with y'all so that you can be a part of the conversation. Let's grow together. I'm gonna see why we never start a community to grow together. Alright, I am just Shantae says, please to save the live. Definitely will. Alicia Smith says, I agree with you, Carol. Never give up. Keep pushing, keep looking. Don't take your eyes off your goals. Precisely. Alicia Smith says, blessing and good night. Good night, honey. I am just Shantae says, yes, that's the energy I like. Natisha says, yes, he has. Amen. Great live. I'm glad that you enjoyed the live, and I hope to provide more content like this for you. Amisha Jackson says, good night, all. Good night. And Christopher Master says, yes, I like that you read all the comments. I really tried tonight. I've been a little bit lousy in the other lives, but I'm getting better as I continue to do the lives. I am just Shantae says, good night, love. Good night. Meet the Watson says, nice night, nice content up. Thank you, Meet the Watsons. Natisha says, good night, everyone. Have a great week. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Oh, guys, if you don't do it yet, don't forget to hit like on this live and hit the subscription as well as the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Bye, my NC gang. That's it for tonight. God's blessing on you. We'll talk more later. Christopher Watts Masters says, you are gonna make me start a YouTube channel soon. Then why you wait upon Christopher Masters and now you have to start, not tell me about soon. You have to start now. Have a blessed night. Bye, Stephanie. Good night, Alicia.